Hey guys, what's up? This is Zorb, and today I want to do a quick little video on how to render your videos for YouTube. Um, so basically, I'm going to go by certain assumptions. I'm not going to talk about different game capture devices that you can use because that's completely out of the context here. So one little thing I want to mention before I get started is a little bit of an idea on what happens when you upload a YouTube or upload a video to YouTube. So no matter what quality your video is in, when you upload a video, YouTube is gonna re-encode the video to its standards. What I mean by that is if you have a 1080p video at 60 frames per second and at a bit rate of 50 megabits per second. Let's say if you upload such a video to YouTube, it's gonna downgrade that to 30 frames per second and maybe a data rate of um, 12 megabits per second. So um, by uploading such a large file to YouTube, you're basically achieving nothing, and encoding done by YouTube uh, is not probably as good as encoding that you could do with a software such as Sony Vegas Pro. So it's always good to render your videos to a standard that would put as little load as possible on YouTube to re-encode it. So let's get started. So let's see, I have this file here. Let's quickly go through the file properties. Uh, so as you can see, this is a 1080p video at a total bit rate of 30 megabits per second and a frame rate of 29 frames per second. So basically this is a classic NTSC standard video as long as the frame rate is concerned. So let me open up Sony Vegas Pro and drag this file in here. So once you have the file, there's one little thing that you want to do immediately. So right click on the video, go to switches and disable resampling. So what it does is that if you just scroll through the video at some places, you can see the interlacing. Um, so disabling this would make your video much clearer. So that's what basically it does. Let me see if I can get a chance to uh, show that to you later on. So when it comes to Vegas, you have to understand that there are two different aspects to it. So one is the way your project is set up, and the other thing is the rendering settings that you use. So the first thing is the project properties. So if you go and click on the arrow button thingy here, it's going to open up this properties window. So basically you want to set this property properly, and it should match the settings that we just saw earlier. So it's a 1080p video, this is fine, the frame rate is fine. When it comes to this window, see here you see something called a video transform. I know what this does, but it makes your video ugly. um, just turn this thing off and have a pixel format set to full range, and video transform set to off. Rendering quality, obviously you want it to be best, and select none for deinterlace fields. It's very important. You might want to check this if you know that all you're using Vegas Pro is to render your YouTube videos. You could just set this so it automatically starts with the settings every single time. So when you apply, you see the video change. So this is how your video should actually look like. So hit OK, and let me drag this video a bit up. So let me just try to show you what interlacing does. Okay, okay. See this frame. Let me try to find a better frame. Okay, see this frame here. You see some kind of ghosting here. See this persona right here has so much interpolation happening here, and this is kind of blurred out. So just watch that when I change this to none. Immediately the things go away and it becomes much clearer. So this is what it does basically. So let me just cut this clip. Let me just hit this. Okay, and one other thing, I'm not gonna go through different shortcuts in Vegas Pro because there are plenty other videos out there, to be honest, which are very, very good and much better than what I could explain here. So you might want to check those videos out if you want to understand how Vegas works. So let me just assume that you have a basic understanding on how the software works. Um, yeah. So once you do this, once you have the project properties set right, and once you have the interlacing disabled, this uh, resampling, you could add a bunch of effects. So now I don't usually overkill with so many effects. So there are a couple of effects that you could use to beautify, so as to say, your your video. So one thing I use is color correct. So you can just drag this default here and go to this tab and tweak this to whichever way you want. Like if you set it too high, it's going to be ugly, but tweak it in such a way that you know it looks good. So easy way to know which one looks good is to check for the default colors. Say if you have a red, let me see if I can show you a red. Okay, so this red, right? So the way I have set it, it looks too bright, so I don't want to do that. So I want to tone it down a little bit. Maybe this is good. So everything else probably looks good. I mean, that's how I do it basically. Um, so this is one effect that I do. So the thing here is that once you have this thing, you could just save it as a preset. So that's what I've done here. If you can see this, I have a whole bunch of presets here. So once you have that, another quick little effect would be sharpen. This would kind of like make your videos crisp. So just make sure that you don't have anything more than what I have here, because if you do, the texts and the other icons and those things gets weirded out. So you might want to use that. I mean, you're even good without having to use this effect at all. Um, another effect that I really use sometimes is something called the soft contrast. So I have a preset here. So let me just track this. Um, so um, what it basically does is just it changes the contrast settings for your video and adds a kind of vignette, if you want to call it. So you can see the difference by when I enable it. Let me just disable this. It's gonna look like this, and enabling it makes it more beautiful, at least to me. It makes the darker regions or darker spots more dark and brighter spots more bright, kind of. Uh, you can see the difference. I mean, you could test it out and see it for yourself. So this is one other effect that I use. And once you have all those effects and everything else taken care of, the next big things is that you have to have a proper render settings. So this is where you actually uh, render the video in specific settings. So I would highly recommend rendering it as a MP4, because there is one advantage of rendering it as an MP4 when it comes to YouTube. So when you upload a YouTube video or when you upload a video to YouTube, if the video is MP4 or MPEG-4, the processing that the YouTube does after the upload is done takes little time as compared to other formats. For example, Windows Media. I'm derping really bad. I'm not going to redo this. This is probably going to go into the video. Okay. Um, so I use MP4. So come down here and select Internet HD 1080p and click on Customize. You don't want to use this by default because I want to change a couple of things here. Okay. So this is going to be the same. Frame rate is going to be NTSC. Uncheck this because you want it to be capped to this settings here. And don't encode this in a variable bitrate. Just have a constant bitrate, which is more than enough. And bitrate, you can set it to 10 or 14. I just set it to 14. Excuse me. So bitrate directly correlates to the quality of your video. So the higher bitrate your video has, the more better it looks. But the thing is, no matter what you have, even if you encode it with a 2 gig Mbps, uh, 2 gig Mbps, I'm not even making sense, 2 Gbps bitrate, it's not gonna matter because YouTube is gonna downscale that anyways. So you're better off by just having a smaller bitrate so that your software Vegas Pro controls that, and it doesn't let YouTube to do anything extra or anything more than it actually needs to. So do this settings here, and if you have a really good computer with a good graphics card, you could choose this option, render using CUDA. So what it does is it makes use of the graphics card's CUDA cores to actually render the video, which makes it much quicker. One easy way to test if you have a CUDA is to just check GPU. So it says if you have a CUDA core, or if you can use that option, it just says right here. So you could set it to this to be safe, or if you're sure you know what you're doing, you could just set it to render CUDA if it's available. Just uncheck this. I don't even know what it does, but it looks scary, so just going to disable that. Sample bitrate, you could just leave it as it is, or you could just bump it up. It doesn't really matter. I don't pay much attention to the sound because I'd be commentating most of the times. I don't. I'm just saying, or you would be commentating most of the times. Let's just say that. Okay, so when it comes to system, make sure that you see MP4 here, because if you don't see this and if you see something else, you probably didn't select Internet HD. You maybe tried to act smart and try to select something else, so it doesn't work that way. So just select this and you should be able to see MP4 here, and click OK. And if you want to save this as a preset, just save it here. Let me just say it's Zorb. Haha, badass. So once you just set it, just favorite it and just show your favorites in here so that it's much easier to find what you want to do. So see here, I have a preset. I don't know why I have two of them. I'm pretty sure I use this usually, and I have a Windows Media format as well. So just select this and click on render, and it renders. It takes some time to render. It depends upon how good your computer is and everything else. So that's it. That's pretty much it, guys. Just let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about something in detail. I can do that, and I'll do one thing. I'll just upload this video at the end of this clip so that you can see how it looks like. So that's pretty much about it, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Then kill them. You've been stunned. Seconds remaining.